with Impact Knockout, two-time champion, Knockouts Tag Team champion, AAA Reina de Reinas champion, and former Ring of Honor Women's Champion, Deonna Purrazzo. I'm really buzzing to be speaking to you tonight. How are things? How are you?
Great. I love the introduction. It never ever gets old.
Never.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm just waiting for Christmas. I've got the the out of office at work email set ready to go for tomorrow night, so I can't wait. Yeah, first of all, before we really get into this, massive congratulations. You recently swapped one ring for the other, and you and Mr. Macklin took a walk down that aisle.
It was incredible. It was the best day of our entire lives. I still am like just scrolling through the pictures. I probably have drove everyone on social media crazy because I can't stop posting them. I was during the hurricane and it just made it so much more beautiful. And it was honestly like a dream. The best day ever.
Awesome. And the two of you, both of you, have been somewhat of a little bit of a wrestling power couple the last couple of years, and so does this just cap off the last 2 years that you guys have had, really churning forward?
Yeah, I think that it was the best way to end the year. It was really hard to find a date because obviously with COVID and weddings getting pushed back, there was very, very limited dates that we could do. But we were so happy to have it at the end of the year on a Thursday so we could have our friends and family from all across the wrestling community come and celebrate with us. It's also the Marine Corps birthday, so we had a ton of Marines with us, and it was the perfect way to cap off all of the celebration and all of the things we've been able to do together over the last few years, but then also to like start a new chapter in our lives together and see what we can do moving forward as a married couple in the new year.
I love it. And if professional wrestling has taught me anything over the years, it's that special occasions like this usually end up in a wedding brawl. The bride's face usually ends up in the cake, tables getting flipped, sometimes the occasional kidnapping. So was there any of those type of shenanigans going on?
No, thank gosh. It was funny because, well, we didn't want a wedding cake because we're like, oh, no one eats the wedding cake. Like, it's just kind of outdated. Donuts are our thing. So we were having donuts. We were having s'mores. We didn't want a wedding cake. And they were like, you have to have a wedding cake, even if it's just something small. Your grandmother wants to see the wedding cake. So they made us a little one. And as Steve and I are cutting it, obviously we had many drinks at this point, but he's like cutting through the cardboard of the layer, the first top layer. So then he's trying to like dig under with the serving knife to like pick up the piece for us to share. And I'm like, what are you like? Then we got into an argument, like, you're doing it wrong, just give it to me. And we're fighting over the serving spoon. So that was probably the only real shenanigans that we had. Otherwise it was just, again, the rain and figuring out how we were going to get married in the rain, because I was not doing it inside. We picked our venue to be outside under the Spanish moss and the live oaks and all these things. I was not going inside.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Impact, because Deonna, I had the chance to sit on a press pass about a year ago when you were chatting with Mickey James and Gail Kim, and that was absolutely amazing. But this is the first time I've really had a proper chance to speak to you. What I wanted to say was, like, Impact is definitely, in the last 2 to 3 years, has really stuck its flag back in the stand in terms of like coming back to the main and being what I consider to be week for week the best wrestling promo out there. But you yourself have also been on a hell of a tear coming in as the virtuosa. Your second time in Impact. You've won the tag Impact Knockouts champion tags and the championship and everything like that. You've had an amazing time. Headline Bound for Glory. You know, you were in the Queen of the Mountain, took a hell of a bump, which we'll get to in a second. But what is it about Impact that's really energized you and motivated you creatively? And over the last two and a bit years, has there been a moment that is like going forward, you're like, I want to reach that moment again?
I think I want to see women main event a pay-per-view again. And, Mickey and I did it Hard to Kill last year, but it's been a year since we've seen that. So I think for me, moving forward in the new year, I'm also in this like kind of transitional phase right now of like, what is next for the Virtuosa, right? I main evented pay-per-views. I was the Knockouts champion for like 340 some odd days. I got to main event AEW. I got to go and do Triple Mania twice. I got to win the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships with my best friend. Yeah. What is next? And I think for me right now, it's getting back into the world title picture, waiting until after Hard to Kill to see who is the Knockouts World Champion, and then pushing myself to get back into how do we main event another pay-per-view. And I don't necessarily think I have to be the one to do it. I just want to see women main event pay-per-views regularly, but if I have to be the one to do it, I'm more than willing to. But I think that's what's next for me in the new year, is getting back to being the Virtuosa, being a world champion, and then pushing boundaries and making women be able to main event over and over and over again.
Absolutely. And then quickly on the Queen of the Mountain, how on earth was it decided? Like, I'm not saying that you're not known for big spots like that, that, because you are known for spots, but that was a big spot for you in Chelsea. And how did that come around? And how was it a case of you guys are doing that? That's your spot.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we kind of joked about it a little bit, and someone had been like, okay, and if you fall off the ladder, how do you feel about going through a table? And we were both like, that'd be awesome. But didn't think it'd really happen. And then we get to Slammiversary. We're in Nashville, and we all get together. We have some ideas. We had put together a group text, and Gail Kim was able to kind of send us all of the King of the Mountain files, just so we have reference, because it's a very confusing and complex concept. Yeah. And once we were able to nail down, like, okay, these are the rules and these are our boundaries, how do we work within these confines? And yeah, it was Chelsea and I were in this, like, are we going to be a tag team moving forward? We you had seen us on screen once or twice together. We teased it in the weeks leading up to it. Will we work together? Will we not work together? The Virtuosa doesn't really work well with other people, but no. Chelsea's a babyface, so what's gonna happen? And I think that ultimately we got in the ring and we practiced, like, where does the ladder need to be to fall, who's setting up the table. We worked through the details of it, and it was like, I just had to tell myself, if you don't think about this and you just get in there and you do it, it's gonna pay off, and it's going to be such an iconic moment for you. So just get over being scared and do it. And I must have blacked out when I started climbing the ladder. Chelsea always says, you were one rung below me. And I said, you need to come up one, because we had to be on the same one. And so I guess I climb up, and as we're looking at each other, we're looking at Mia, we're looking at each other. I must have said to her, I'm scared. And then we fell. I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified, because I'm not known for big bumps. And I don't really go to the top rope. And I never thought I was scared of heights until I had to climb the ladder. And then I thought, maybe I'm not scared of heights anymore, because I did it. Still very, very terrified.
No, the best thing for me, or for the Impact faithful fans, has been the trajectory that the company's on, yourself included, and Steve Macklin as well. Like, he's had a hell of a 2 years, Josh Alexander, but does it feel like you guys are now, obviously you've got this massive big deal with DAZN now, going worldwide, 170 different countries, readily available all over the place. Does this feel like a little bit of vindication for the work you guys have been putting in?
Absolutely. I think that as professional wrestlers, we all want the most eyes on us. And I think that Impact has continued to explore new options and new subscription-based things, whether it be YouTube Insiders, now whether it be with DAZN, and having countries like Impact Wrestling available in Japan, available in Italy, available throughout Europe, and maybe countries that haven't gotten access to Impact Wrestling yet, is what every wrestler wants. How do I get the most eyes on me? How do I capitalize on everything that I'm doing? And that's what this does. Obviously within the States, we have Fight, and you could order the pay-per-views on that. And there's so many eyes that have yet to see
Yeah.
see Impact Wrestling throughout the rest of the world? And how do we continue to market ourselves to the larger audience that either doesn't have professional wrestling or has it and hasn't seen Impact? So I think this is huge for us, and it's just a step in the right direction for all of the hard work that is done behind the scenes within our management, but then also what you see every week on TV, whether it be bumps like the ladder off the ladder through the table bump that is huge for women and hasn't been seen before. We don't want to do it for naught, right? We want the entire world to see it. It hurt. It's real. So this is totally a step in that vindication direction to be like, yeah, we're making strides and we're becoming one of the biggest companies in the world, and we're pushing those boundaries every single week.
It's phenomenal. And when the news came down, I was talking to a couple of other friends who we're all like proper Impact fans. We were there through the what they call the down years, and we continuously still watched it. But now with it going on to the Zone, and that's a platform. It's a huge platform. They've got like Matchroom Boxing on there. They've got Misfits Boxing. They've got all the different things. So to have Impact on there now, for us as fans, we were just like, this is amazing. Like, this is absolutely fantastic. And is the locker room just fired up now I mean, they already were, but are they extra fired up now?
Yeah, absolutely. There's such a camaraderie between us. And I think that just because we don't necessarily always get the credit we're deserved as Impact talent or Impact as a company, again, partnerships like this and getting more eyes on our product is definitely like, hell yeah, let's continue to push boundaries. Let's continue to grow as a company, but then as individuals. How do we work harder to get in better shape, to get better gear, to continue to level up as individuals is only going to continue to push our company further. It's what we all want. So like I said, it's definitely that vindication in that, like, this is a good step in a good direction. So let's blow it out of the water.
And then this one's a little bit self-serving, really. As you can tell, I have a little bit of a British accent. That is because I am from the UK. The Zone is pretty big in the UK. It has a big subscription basis over here.
Yeah.
Can we expect to see the likes of Deonna Purrazzo, Steve Macklin, Speedball Mike Bailey, Josh Alexander coming over to these British shows in 2023 and beyond again?
I think so. I 100%, like, mark my words, I want that. And I know Steve wants that. I know Josh wants that. It's been a long time since Impact has been in the UK doing live shows. And, we hear about these, like, it's almost like folklore, right? Like, oh, when Impact used to tour in the UK and these UK tours and everyone has such great stories about it. And it's like, okay, but when are we doing it again? We all want to do it again. So I think now that the world is getting back to normal, we are traveling internationally. We're going to Canada for Sacrifice in March. I think that the doors are now open again for us to do a UK tour and it be extremely successful. So trust me, fingers crossed, I'm hoping it happens in the new year. I want that so bad.
Well, I mean, I probably shouldn't really shout out other promotions, but we do have an upstart promotion over here that has Josh coming over in February, Soft Pro Wrestling. Maybe you could come and appear there before Impact comes over. Maybe a little Dream Post death match.
Yes. It has been a long time since I've wrestled in the UK, probably since early or mid 2018, before I went to NXT. So it's been a long time. Even then, I didn't get to do too much of the UK indie scene. And it's something I've always wanted to do. So whether it be with Impact or whether it be with an independent promotion, I'm just so excited at the possibility of coming back to the UK. There's such an incredible fan base just for professional wrestling, but then also you add the Impact mix to that. I think it would be an incredible experience, and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. So this is like a, hey, promoters, hey, Impact, someone do something. We all want it, so it's only a matter of time.
So we're going to start wrapping it up a little bit in a second, but one thing that I want to know, and I don't know how much you'd be able to go into this, but it is a bit of a personal question, so let's have a go. Mickie James is currently on her retirement one last rodeo.
Yes.
And I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, but personally, from my point of view, where Impact is right now and where the Knockouts division is right now, you are the person that should retire Mickey James in my eyes. Like it's the
Yeah.
perfect feud to end on. It's the perfect thing to go out on. If you could personally plan that inevitable conclusion and how to get there, how does the virtuosa see that scenario playing out?
I think that that would be a dream come true for the virtuosa. I talked about it endlessly that I'm just done with Mickey James. I'm done with having to validate Mickey James' ego constantly. At Turning Point in November, I called her out on her bullshit. This is all self-serving. It's not for the Knockouts division. It's for Mickey James. She wants to be the champion again. She's used her legacy and she calls herself a legend and an icon and all these things, and then we're supposed to cheer her. I see through it. However, if she dethrones Jordynne Grace come Hard to Kill, I think that I'm more than willing to work my way up myself to become the number one contender. I don't need to put a label on it. I don't need to name it something and brand my journey there. I'm just going to do the work, and I'm going to put my head down and become a number one contender. And I agree. I think I would be the perfect person to retire Mickey James, and just shut her up and put her out of her misery and be done with wrestling. That's what the virtuoso feels. What Deonna Purrazzo feels is that it would be the perfect story. It would be such a full circle moment to do that. And I do think I'm in this transitional phase. What is she going to do next? And I think that whether it be at Hard to Kill or TV after that or whatever it is, it's working my way to the title picture. And whether it's Jordynne or Mickey, both are like my number one and number two rivals at Impact at this point, and I am thrilled to be able to possibly be in the ring with either of them again. But yeah, I want it to be Mickey because the stakes are high. Can you imagine being able to say, I retired Mickey James? Tasha Steelz has already reinvented herself with the greatest that beat the greatest. So what about the freaking greatest that retired the greatest? Right?
I'm down for that. I'm down for that.
There's just this natural chemistry between me and Mickey that I think if that's the direction Impact chooses to go in, it's going to be groundbreaking. Like I said, we've already main evented pay-per-views. After Hard to Kill, our next pay-per-view is Rebellion in April. And I think what an incredible conclusion that would be to this story, to have Mickey be the Knockouts World Champion, wrestle Deonna Purrazzo, part 4 in the main event of Rebellion. That is the ultimate goal.
I have the perfect path to that, and I'll see if I can send it over to you.
But if I like it, I'll be sending it over to our creative team.
even better. 10%, remember. But before that happens, though, we're going to wrap up with this one last question, because on Thursday night on Access TV and on Impact Insiders on the YouTube and everything like that, you are going for the tag titles again against the Death Dolls, which is going to be an awesome match with Giselle Shaw. Bit of an odd pairing, but do you think you will be maybe at Hard to Kill trying to retain these belts, or?
Yeah, possibly. I go into every match thinking I'm going to win, right? If you set yourself out that like this partnership isn't going to work, then we've already been defeated prior to even getting in the ring. So I can't say I necessarily trust Giselle with my whole being and with this opportunity. However, I think that when Giselle and I have tagged in the past with Vexed, with Chelsea and I, we've been pretty successful. We kind of have this natural chemistry from the get after Bound for Glory. So I think it'll be interesting to see what Giselle and I can accomplish together. And who knows, if it works out and we're the Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, then maybe we will be defending at Hard to Kill. The Knockouts World Tag Team division is something that I think is so special. It's constantly being reinvented, and new tag teams are forming, and we're bringing in tag teams, and I'm just really excited for the future of that division. So I would love to be a 2-time Knockouts World Tag Team Champion and continue to push boundaries for women's tag team wrestling.
Awesome. And on that note, we will bow out. But first of all, 100% have an amazing Christmas and a great New Year. First Christmas as Mrs. Macklin, I guess, which is awesome. And enjoy that.
Thank you so much.
And again, a huge congratulations on getting married. to the greatest man in Impact right now. You've picked a winner there.
Well, thank you so much. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and hopefully we'll be over to the UK, and I'll see you in person soon.
Absolutely, absolutely. That would be the dream.